the next generation of conservatives. It's September 25th, 2025, and these are your headlines. Students at Stratford High School in Houston are moving forward with their new Turning Point USA Club America chapter, even after political activists tried to intimidate teachers to shut it down. The controversy began when private group messages between students about potential club sponsors were screenshotted and posted in a Facebook group. Natalie Herpin, the vice president of the Spring Branch Democrats Club, urged members of that group to email teachers at Stratford and pressure them not to sponsor the group. In her post, she claimed TPUSA founder Charlie Kirk had been murdered in an interpersonal rivalry and warned that the club would divide the campus. Well, it didn't have that effect. Despite the smear campaign, the club received official recognition, the Stratford math teacher signing on as a sponsor. And last night, speaking to a packed ballroom of hundreds of supporters, including Spring Branch ISD trustees, student organizer Jack Robertson outlined the group's mission to inform, educate, and advocate, stressing that students must build their house on the rock, not on the sand, and prepare to lead with courage. Conservative radio host Kenny Webster and Michael Berry were both there, and they praised the students for their stand, blasted adults who doxed teenagers online. Michael Berry told the crowd that Kirk's assassination was darkness, while the Stratford students were lighting a candle and lighting the world. Attorney General Ken Paxton, who's already pledged to investigate the online targeting, also addressed the students last night with a message of encouragement. Quoting Winston Churchill's famous line to never give in, Paxton told them their courage is so rarely seen in adults, and particularly politicians. The Stratford students, meanwhile, say their fight is just beginning to educate their peers, defend free speech, and carry forward the values that Charlie Kirk championed. The Texas Supreme Court is taking up a case that could reshape taxpayer rights, and it all stems from a decades-old property tax in South Texas. Back in 1974, Willacy County voters approved a tax to fund a rehabilitation district for handicapped residents. But less than a decade later, without ever going back to voters, that district reinvented itself as South Texas ISD, a magnet school system serving students across 3 counties. Taxpayers in the nearby Lyford School District argued that shift was illegal, and they're asking the courts to stop the tax. A lower court initially sided with them, but the 13th Court of Appeals threw the case out, said taxpayers lack standing to sue. Now the state's highest court will decide if the lawsuit can move forward. At issue is more than just one district's budget. South Texas ISD is sitting on tens of millions in dollars of reserves and doesn't participate in the state's Robin Hood recapture program, making it one of the wealthiest districts in the state. The Supreme Court will hear arguments on November 5th. A ruling in favor of the taxpayers could set a precedent for holding local governments accountable when they spend tax dollars on purposes voters never approved.
Hey folks, Chris Salcedo here. I've got something special for you, the Salcedo Storm podcast. As your friendly, liberty-loving Latino, I bring you a mix of engaging discussions to help us fight for our state and our conservative values. It's the perfect way to stay informed and engaged in what's happening around you. So, what are you waiting for? Don't miss out on the storm of information and entertainment coming your way. The Salcedo Storm podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
After months of bitter squabbling among Democrats, the Harris County Commissioners Court finally adopted its $2.7 billion budget for the fiscal year 2026. The plan passed 3-2 with Democrat Commissioners Adrian Garcia and Leslie Briones joining Republican Tom Ramsey in favor. Democrat Commissioner Rodney Ellis and County Judge Lena Hidalgo opposed it, largely over massive law enforcement pay increases. At a press conference earlier this week, Garcia and Briones stood alongside law enforcement leaders to tout funding for pay parity, saying county deputies and constables had long been underpaid compared to Houston police officers. The raises are pretty large. Constables made about $133,000 in 2024. That rose to $178,000 in 2025. Now, under the new budget, they'll earn $260,000, more than the governor of Texas, the mayor of Houston, even the vice president of the United States. County Judge Hidalgo blasted the move as reckless. She said there was a 60% pay raise for elected constables. There's no rhyme or reason to decision-making around the budget unless you realize this rhyme or reason is the end goal of being reelected at all costs. She argued that constables' political clout, not fairness, drove the raises, since constables can endorse candidates while other county officials can't. Now, the new budget also carries steep cuts and sharp increases elsewhere. Sheriff's Office medical services were slashed 72%. The Office of County Administration cut 48%, and Justices of the Peace took cuts up to 18%. Meanwhile, county-appointed court attorney fees jumped 179%. Election operations ballooned 96%, and district court attorney fees rose 64%. Core services like roads, parks, and public health remain mostly untouched, but the county will begin the year under a hiring freeze, even for replacement workers. The budget also raises property taxes by 2 cents per $100 valuation. Commissioners opted not to push for a larger tax hike, but homeowners will still see higher bills. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.